Once upon a time in a faraway land, there lived a kind old wizard named Merlin who had a magic tower hidden deep in the woods. Merlin was looking for an apprentice to teach all his magical secrets to. One day, a young boy named Simon saw Merlin performing magic tricks in the village square. Simon was enthralled and begged Merlin to take him on as an apprentice. Merlin agreed and brought Simon back to his tower to begin his magical training. Merlin started by teaching Simon simple spells, like lighting candles with his fingers and making objects float through the air. Simon practiced every day and soon mastered all the beginner spells. After a few months, Merlin decided Simon was ready to learn more advanced magic. That day, Merlin brought Simon to a large room in the tower that had a giant cauldron bubbling with a magical potion. This cauldron can be controlled using this magic wand to animate objects and make them move on their own, Merlin explained. But you must be very careful casting this spell, as the magic can quickly get out of control if you aren't focusing. Merlin taught Simon the magic words and wand motions to cast the animation spell. At first, Simon succeeded in making a broom come to life and sweep the floor on its own. But soon, he got carried away with the powerful magic. Simon enchanted all the cleaning tools, mops, buckets, brushes, until they were zooming wildly around the room, sloshing water and making a huge mess. "Stop, stop," cried Merlin. But Simon didn't know how to reverse the out-of-control spell. The enchanted objects started streaming out of the room, wreaking havoc through the tower. A soapy flood poured down the staircase. The magic brooms splashed bubbly water everywhere. Merlin and Simon chased after the chaotic cleanup crew, but couldn't catch them. Wet, soapy brooms and mops slid down the stairs on their own. Buckets tipped over, spilling sudsy water all over the floors. Merlin yelled, "Simsalabim," to counteract the magic, but nothing worked. Soon the entire tower was full of slippery bubbles, dripping wet. Merlin angrily cried, "Simon, this is getting out of hand. You must figure out how to break the spell." But every spell Simon tried only made the mess worse. As Simon stood there, sopping wet and overwhelmed, he had an idea. Grabbing the magic wand, Simon rushed to the potion cauldron that had started all the trouble. Pointing the wand at the giant stewpot, Simon said, "Animate sopatus." To his relief, the bubbling cauldron calmed its magical glowing. As the potion's power died down, all the enchanted objects became lifeless and still. The tower's staircase was now quiet and soaked. Simon turned around to see Merlin watching him, arms crossed. "I'm so sorry, sir," said Simon. "I let the magic carry me away when I should have listened to your warnings. But I have learned my lesson, magic must be used carefully and sensibly." Merlin nodded approvingly. "You figured out how to set things right in the end, Simon. That shows you truly are ready for more magical study. However, you must promise to always stay focused and use good judgment when casting spells." "I promise, sir," said Simon earnestly. "No more fooling around." Merlin smiled warmly. "Then let us clean up this bubbly mess with some proper, well-controlled magic." He waved his hands and mystical energy swept through the tower, drying up all the water and leaving everything sparkling clean. From then on, Simon paid close attention when Merlin taught him new spells. Simon learned to use magic only for good purposes and always followed Merlin's wise lessons. Thanks to the sorcerer's apprentice's messy misadventure, he became a skilled, responsible young wizard.